All right, everybody. This is one of my dearest friends. Her name is Apreusser. She is a TCU student, go Frogs, and former Wilmington Shark. Fins up. So, Alex, all kidding aside, Alex and I have been through a lot over the last 2 years building our program over with the Wilmington Sharks. And for those that don't have the honor of knowing you, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, what your dream is, what year you're in school, and just some background of why you decided to join the sports world?
Yeah, so I'm originally from like an hour outside of Chicago. I chose TCU because of their awesome communications college. And so I'm a junior. I'm a sports journalism major, business minor. And then my freshman year of college, that was 2018, 2019, my parents moved out to Wilmington. So going into the summer after my freshman year, I was like, I want an internship. And so I reached out to Allison and Carson and ended up getting an internship with the Wilmington Sharks. But one of the reasons I wanted to go into sports was just I grew up all around it. My parents really took us to all the Cubs games, Sox games, Blackhawks games, like everything in Chicago because it is such like a great sports city. And my two older brothers played hockey and baseball. Lacrosse was mixed in there a little bit too. And I played soccer my whole life. So it was just kind of, I wanted to continue to be involved in sports, but also not place the sports. And I honestly really like figuring out the athlete's story and just like how they got into the sport they are and what makes them competitive and why they want to pursue that. And so it's just really grown into one of my passions.
I love that because everyone, whether you are an athlete or an employee, you have a story of some sort. There are so many different things to tell. And, originally when Alex approached us, she was interested in doing sideline reporting. And really, she's so amazing with helping me this past year tell the story through our social media of who we were and what we were, but also who our athletes were. So we're going to get a little bit emotional for a moment. And each of us had the same moment. And this is something that I've talked about with several different people across the industry. And we all had that moment when the season was canceled and what that felt like. And, I feel like personally we were robbed of our moment of the national anthem starting and taking that deep breath and going, we did it. Now it's showtime. And how is it, Alex, that you coped personally with this?
Yeah, so it was hard because throughout like the month that we were kind of going full speed ahead and had a lot of confidence in what we were doing. When you go in the office, we always had this like positive attitude, like we're going to play, we're going to play, we're going to play. And so when you're in the office, you're like, yeah, this is going to work. But then kind of when I went home and I would talk to Kieran about some stuff, I was like, I'm kind of skeptical. I don't know. We kind of were all going through the same thing. We're just really in like a limbo state because we were like, we need to prepare, but we also have no firm conclusion about what's going to happen. So when Carson called me that morning, I was disappointed, but also not surprised because I kind of watched the news about where like Wilmington and North Carolina was going with everything with COVID. And aside from just a baseball organization, we're a business. So obviously if it doesn't make sense to make a profit, it's definitely hard to justify staying open. So it was kind of difficult in that because we had so much planned that we were so excited for. And I know you had a lot planned. I had everything planned with like media days and player interviews. And I was so excited to work with my team as well. And being a 20-year-old director of media relations, I was so excited to kind of get after it and kind of show my skills and like what I've learned from school and translate that into like a real world scenario. And I think my media team was like super excited and everything. So definitely a disappointment for that sense. And I was just so excited to work with Kieran again, the marketing director, because we became such good friends throughout the season. And so it's probably like our last chance that we would ever gotten to work together. So yeah.
Well, never say never. We never know where everything is going to lead. And I think it's pretty awesome that we've created these friendships and these relationships. And you're right, you had things set up that we had never done before. We had set up a series of videos because the Olympics had been canceled. So here we were having our mascot ready to showcase the businesses that were partners of ours and running through some of the iconic places in Wilmington that if you haven't visited before, you need to see, because they are some pretty cool historic areas, and plus there's the beach, so you can't get better than that. And we did have a bunch of our players doing it too, which was pretty funny. So what's something different, Alex, that you've done during COVID that you've never done before?
One of the things that I kind of did during quarantine and COVID and everything was really just like take time to myself. And I think TCU did such a great job with also providing resources to their students, because through the Career Center, I was able to join a group Zoom call with an MLB agent, and that led to a one-on-one call with him. And he pointed me in the direction of a media director for the LA Kings. So I got to have a one-on-one call with him. So it's kind of stepping out of my comfort zone and really like honing in on this idea that like I need to start networking, being an upperclassman and everything. Like you need, obviously, this business is all about who you know. So making those connections now so I can utilize them and continue to grow them in the future. I also was able to participate in the Galvanize Who Not Do series. So that was really exciting because I got to interview an industry professional. So it was kind of what I got to do during quarantine and everything with COVID. I was able to like take what I've learned and really apply it into ways that I never would have ever thought of or pictured. But because we were in this state of there is nothing to do, and this was before started working full time with the Sharks, and after just kind of sitting there like, what do I do now? Just Google searching and reading the emails TCU sending and everything, just really figuring out how to utilize this time and use it positively.
So one of the things that each of us have to look at, and TCU is having at certain levels, you are having sports and you are still showcasing your teams, and although it looks very differently, there's still, or very different rather, there's still a level of grind that you have to do every single day while you're in the office and while you're preparing for the season. As you move forward, and I'm sure you guys are still talking about what you're doing next year and how you are, what are some things that you're hearing throughout the group and throughout your office that people are looking to build culturally? What's the attitude that they're trying to build?
In the sense of attitude and like kind of like the culture around the office, even starting my second semester sophomore year in the athletics office, it has always been like such a fun environment, super chill and laid back, but also like everyone's kind of there for the same reasons. And we all are, because it's communications and marketing together. So we're all there to promote these teams. And I think the culture that we've created in the office is kind of similar to what we had at the Sharks, in the sense that we're trying to stay positive as much as we can, but also in the sense be realistic of, okay, we can only have X amount of fans. How do we give those fans the best possible experience and most normal experience to what they're used to, so they can continue to be impressed by us and continue to come to our games, and then give us a follow on social media to improve our media presence and everything. So I think it's all about just really being positive and honing in on the skills that we know we can do, but also improving our weaknesses if we are able to and capable of.
What is it Frosty always says? We have 100 hours to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's a short season team, your traditional season team, professional, semi-pro, and so forth, you're absolutely right. We have such a unique opportunity in the sports world to make and offer a place for people to relax and to forget about the outside world, and to make a difference for those that are there and through social media and so forth. So, I appreciate that, the lessons that we've worked together and ways that you've grown and how you've grown. It's really cool to see you applying all of that and everything that you did for us. I hate that our season was cut and we weren't able to do all of the ideas that we had. But hopefully you're able to take those at some point and utilize them for other teams that you work for. So everybody make sure this is, like I said, this is Alexandra Prusser. She is on LinkedIn. Please reach out. She's one of, and I can speak personally on this, she's one of the best things that ever happened to our staff. So she will be an asset beyond asset to anybody that looks to bring her on. And Alex, I wish you the unbelievable best at everything that you do.
Thank you so much, Allie.